Hello, this is Gerald van Waas. In this video I will explain to you how we as listeners, as speakers of a language try to recognize positions of letters as a reference point how much we can understand each other. So the first couple of letters are all about orientations in space, and they are trying to pinpoint references as framing actually from what we understand. And let's compare this understanding with a wave. So that you can have a comparison. This wave is like the speech, like an understanding. It's like this is my basis of what I'm talking about, and we look at that way. We look how it is, or we listen to it, and we try to pinpoint our own reference upon it. So, and if they match, okay, we understand each other well. If they don't match, we have to adapt a little bit and make better balance. And all this kind of listening, pinpointing, understanding, not understanding, correcting in space are about 9 letters that fit with that reference. And I will also add a few more. But I will base my understanding from the letters on just a very simple sine wave. The sine wave, you know, this is also known in mathematics. Let's say that this red wave is the speech of what we hear, and we try to estimate that general flow of things, and we try to pinpoint our references there. There we have a height of what we can estimate. That's the sinus part, and then the length of the wave is the cosinus, as it is in English, as it is in mathematics. And when it doesn't match very well, of course we'll have a different wave, and when we continue this, we will not understand each other, or we will have to adapt a little bit, and so that we can understand each other. That's more or less the approach that I will follow now, so that I can make you clear what the references of the letters are to each other. So here we have this projected vibration of thought, of directions, of speech, whatever that is. It will be compared in this video to this wave. And the sounds that we build up will be projected upon that thing that we hear. So the very short thing will be the height. It's like this echolocalization, and we say, okay, I heard this. I think it was there. It was there. Here it is. I heard it. If it was not correct, then of course at some point we will have to correct ourselves, because if we only heard, let's say, this level and it was that level, then the wave will be shorter, will be smaller. So it's not the thing that the other meant really. The height was the number 1, let's say, and it's not like that. It's a bit less, so we didn't estimate it well, and in that way we have to correct it. The T is our estimation of the height, the vertical part of an estimation. If we have to correct it, if it was not the number 1 or the localization and the neutral localization, and we have to adapt higher or lower, it doesn't matter. If we have to adapt to it and have to correct it, we use the letter D to direct ourselves to that kind of correction so that we have the right position and the right estimation where the things are. For instance, the word dat, which is almost the same, it's a Dutch word which is almost the same as that in English. It means the same thing. It means the same thing in as a frame. It's the same thing. It is exactly that. It's a repositioning where you need to focus at. So with the D, it moves along to the right position. That's the that. That in English does the same thing. If we say that, we had a focus, but we move it a little bit to the right focus, to the right place. That's what the word means. The ah is the length. So with this length, we try to find out where the object lies and how big it is, how large it is. And that's the same thing with the waves. If we hear a wave and I think, okay, that was the length of it, that's how far it reached its impulse, and that's how far it goes and how it will continue to exist and so on. That's our estimation with a in the length, like the cosinus. The K sound will be the sound of hearing the difference. That's the clicking sound. When two waves do not match, what I think it was, the ah, and what it really is, the red wave that you see there, the red vibration, then you get a click. You hear also a difference. It's not about localization, it's about hearing differences. That's the breaking point of differences. U is the point where the wave really was going. So you did go far enough with our estimation ah, for instance, and it's bringing us much further than that in reality. This little bit further, what we don't know yet, this is the U or U. Both of them are used at a similar position with the same idea. So my position of A will be different of your position of U. And because we don't have a real overview, we don't know that I'm correct or you are correct. We have two different waves, and it's this only an estimation of my point A and your point U. We don't know which one is the correct one, but by understanding each other in communication, we will try to match to each other's waves and thoughts and vibrations so that we try to understand what it is and go towards the same thing that is expressed. The basis of the first foundation is the 0 point where we start from, and there we had actually 3 points of estimation: the 8, T, the white, A or A, and then the in between, the cross section, let's say the K. We already saw one of the corrections, U. But the reality is, of course, that if we make a decision, okay, this is my wave, this is my expression, it will probably be a different wave. My position and my positioning is expressed as the word ta, which we used before in the Chinese script. It's the T position of height combined with the white, and we come to our middle position where we have our highlight, where we see here is my impulse, here I will make my vision, here I will make from it something in my thoughts and expressions and so on. That's the ta. And this ta, will also will be in communication. If it's really off, as you can see here, the wave of expression that we follow will be off. You will see that the K is also a bit further away. You will hear it more profound. You will have a sound of K which will be more dominant and which you will hear at that point. When you hear Ka, Ka is actually like hearing how much our conversations, our understandings are off from each other. It's your wave, my wave, and if they are not matching, and we try to, well, yeah, we still try to match it, as you can see here, but you will already have the idea, okay, there is something off, and I feel it immediately, I'll hear it immediately, that something is not correct. Is it my vision, your vision? We don't know that yet. But there is the question ka, which is used also like in Japanese, ka, the question. Another example is the word cat, which is basically the same word as in English. It's a Dutch version with a K. And you have the sound where it's going to find its reference, where is the cross section or where it is off. Basically, you follow that, and with the T you get a position which is unexpectedly, somewhere else. It's somewhere else. Its behavior is a bit erratic. It's a bit strange, and that's how we also experience the cat. Strange behavior. It's unpredictable. It's going to somewhere else. What's going on there? Or the expression of tak, which is the Dutch word for branch. There we see first vertical, horizontal, and then diagonal. It will break its direction and it will go in a different direction. It's the branch which will also, in the end, will go into a different direction. So you can already recognize the certain words if you use this wave and see how do we follow it, the process. What we already saw was one correction. So because we had our own position in tak, or in ATK, A, T, and K, my own position in A, which was not going far enough, so there was a second position possible further off, in a further length, with U. There's also another correction that you could do, or when the estimation is not high enough. Okay, you have to put your stakes a bit higher and reach to something extra, and that's with the letter L, and that's also how we associate the letter L, just in the same way. And it's a bit comparable to the amplitude, the frequency, with all these things. So the frequencies, the stakes are higher with the L, and with the B it's that cross section again. So we have is this ability to make a correction. We will really do to make a correction, and we'll give it an extra push. So in a bit like how I express it here. So this B is almost like the combination of a U. Okay, I have to go further, I have to go higher. Let's push all the things a bit further so that I will go back to a match with the original intention of the other. And this B will be the expression that says, okay, I will come back on track. I will come back with a B. What kind of letters do we still have in the reference frame of space? So we had already ATK, U, L, and B. When we really focus on the other, just very far away, and see, okay, where are the differences? Where are the matches that I have to reach at the other place? Then I'll see them already here in C, M, and X, where C is redirecting my goal also, that it reaches my goal a little bit further, and see the unknown positions that they don't know yet to reach it. With M, it's also reaching its expressions of, and so its expressions, how big these expressions are. It will get a little bit bigger, so it will grow more. It will have a bigger appearance with the M. And with X, it will also redirect its fully comparable result there on top. So basically, we already had all these first 9 letters in space in a direct confrontation. These were the direct confrontation from a 0 point. So with a direct confrontation, where am I, where are you, and how do we match? These are all. This is actually a way to see the first 9 letters, how we come to a direct confrontation, find our direct starting points with direct references, with direct progress as well, and direct results, all in this little frame. Where the U, L, and B were in fact corrections, that you say, okay, I go a bit further, I go a bit higher, and I will push the limits a bit further. And when they are corrected, when we have them corrected, and we will adapt to what kind of corrections are expected or are available to what the other thing is making available, we have the corrected things via these letters that you see here, the C, the M, and the X. And if you go to a second wave, then you see, okay, what will be the result at the end? It makes it confusing with this green line, but it's actually going in time a little bit further and see how can I really reach it? Will I adapt? Will I have, and when will this adaptation will be done so that at that moment I understand it? That's expressed by D, N, and Y in horizontal, vertical, and diagonal. So with D, we corrected our with a timing to that we really come to the point that we reach a common understanding. With N, we reached a moment, a perfect moment, where we also have the high light and height at that point. So in that way that we say, okay, now it's practical, I have something here and I can use it. Or the Y, then there it's also this estimation where you say, okay, I have the same kind of pulses. We reached the common pulse, I reached it, and there is the point. At that point is the point where I reach this. Just a few more examples. You can see here, for instance, lac. Lac is it's like this paint, what you have, this very flat paint that you have on the surface with a very. It's also the licking. So that's the Dutch word, which means two things. So you have here a height, you have a certain white, and because there's a difference there in that height or production of forming itself and so on. So there's a certain thickness there as well, and this thickness, you know that it sticks as well, and that's also these reference points with this very small of the difference in height of where the differences in surfaces sometimes also are. That makes that sound awareness difference in the lac. The ball, for instance, vertical, horizontal, diagonal. If you have, also there's a thickness variety in the B, and then a horizontal and vertical in the same size. So I go to be able to express my ball here with eventually the extra L that gives it also an extra variation in thickness on the top. It's just a way to recognize it. It might not be the best way as an expression to understand all the letters, but you had some reference points to understand the same letters in a different way. in a reference point of a sine wave, and how we approach it. We hear these things, we hear the differences, and we adapt. That's basically what we do. This was the foundation in space, how we recognize certain things, how we adapt to these certain things, and that is recognizable in this example. I hope you enjoyed. This was Gerald Jovavas. Thanks for watching. Thanks, bye.